The void between stars held its breath as the TSV Thunderchild sliced through space, its obsidian hull absorbing, rather than reflecting the distant starlight. The ship represented humanity's newest achievement, a perfect fusion of stealth technology, weapon systems, and experimental propulsion that had, until 6 months ago, existed only in theoretical physics papers. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the command deck, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display that dominated the center of the bridge. At 42, Elena had earned her position through a combination of tactical brilliance and an uncanny ability to make the right decision under pressure. Her service record was impeccable, which was why Earth Defense Command had entrusted her with humanity's most advanced warship for its maiden voyage beyond the solar system. All systems nominal, Captain, reported Lieutenant Commander Hiroshi Tanaka from the operations console, his fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. Quantum drive is holding steady at 86% efficiency, better than the simulations predicted. Elena nodded. And our stealth profile? We're running dark as requested, answered Tactical Officer Maya Okafor, a tall woman whose Nigerian ancestry was evident in her features. Passive sensors only, minimal emissions. If anyone's looking, all they'll see is background radiation. Good. Elena moved to the central tactical display. Dr. Chen, anything of interest on your scans? Dr. Wei Chen, the ship's nanoscientist, looked up from his station. His usually calm demeanor seemed disturbed, forehead creased with concentration. Actually, Captain, there's something unusual at coordinates 227 by 44 by 195. It's faint, but the gravitational readings don't match natural phenomena. Put it on the main display, Elena ordered. The holographic projection shifted, displaying a seemingly empty region of space. But as the ship's AI enhanced the image and applied various sensor filters, a structure gradually became visible, a geometrically perfect dodecahedron that appeared to be absorbing rather than reflecting light, much like the Thunderchild itself. Dimensions? Elena asked, her voice steady despite the implications of the discovery. Approximately 2 kilometers across, Chen replied. Composition unknown. Our sensors are having difficulty penetrating its outer layer. Life signs. Chen adjusted several settings. Energy signatures consistent with technology, but nothing we can definitively classify as biological. Whatever it is, it's not natural. Elena turned to her XO, Commander Jackson Reed, a veteran of the Mars conflict whose weathered face had earned every line from 20 years of service. Opinions, Commander. Reed studied the projection, arms crossed over his broad chest. It's too perfectly positioned, Captain. That's a surveillance post if I've ever seen one. Question is, whose? Elena nodded. The implications were clear. Humanity wasn't alone among the stars, and someone was watching. Someone advanced enough to place observation platforms far beyond Earth's solar system. Take us in closer, Helm. Maintain stealth protocols, but I want a better look. The Thunderchild adjusted course, approaching the alien structure with cautious deliberation. As they closed distance, more details became visible. The structure's surface was covered in patterns that seemed to shift and rearrange themselves, like a living geometric puzzle. Captain, Dr. Chen's voice carried a note of urgency. I'm detecting a power surge from the structure. It appears to be. A beam of coherent energy lanced out from the alien object, enveloping the Thunderchild in prismatic light. The bridge illuminated with warning signals as the ship's systems registered the intrusion. Shields holding, reported Okafor, but that wasn't a weapon. It's a scanning beam of some kind, extremely sophisticated. They know we're here, Reed stated flatly. Helena's expression hardened. Bring our systems to full alert. Maintain defensive posture, but do not power weapons. Not yet. The alien structure suddenly began to change, unfolding like an impossibly complex origami creation, revealing a sleek vessel that had been concealed within. The ship was unlike anything human engineers had ever designed. Organic curves blended with crystalline structures that seemed to defy conventional material science. "We're being hailed," announced Communications Officer Priya Sharma, her Indian. The bridge's central display flickered, and an image appeared. The being centered in the frame was vaguely humanoid but clearly alien, its skin a mosaic of what appeared to be finely scaled iridescent patterns. Its head was elongated, featuring multiple sets of eyes arranged in patterns that suggested evolutionary development in environments vastly different from Earth. When it spoke, its mouth didn't move in synchronization with the words. Instead, the translation seemed to be overlaid through technology. "Unidentified vessel," the alien began, its voice a melodic synthesis of tones that seemed almost musical. "You have entered monitored space. Identify your species designation and purpose." Elena stepped forward. "I am Captain Elena Reyes of the Terran space vessel Thunderchild. We represent humanity from the planet Earth. Our purpose is peaceful exploration." The alien's multiple eyes blinked in a sequential pattern. "Humanity, Earth. These designations are unknown to the collective records. Your vessel, however, bears the unmistakable architecture of a warship. This contradicts your stated peaceful intention." "We come prepared for self-defense," Elena replied evenly. "A reasonable precaution when venturing into the unknown." "Reasonable," the alien repeated, the word drawn out as if testing its meaning. "The collective finds your presence irregular. Your technology suggests a development level of Category 3, yet your vessel incorporates principles beyond that classification." "Explain." Elena exchanged a glance with Reed. The alien was probing for information about Earth's technological capabilities. "We've advanced quickly," she answered diplomatically. "Our species adapts and innovates rapidly." The alien's head tilted at an angle that seemed anatomically impossible. "The collective must assess potential integration compatibility. Your vessel will be temporarily neutralized for thorough examination. Resistance is unnecessary. The process is non-destructive." Before Elena could respond, the alien vessel emitted a pulse of energy that washed over the Thunderchild like a wave. Bridge systems flickered momentarily. "They're attempting to access our computer core," reported Tanaka urgently. "Some kind of intrusion protocol I've never seen before." "Countermeasures," Elena ordered sharply. "Already engaged, Captain," Tanaka replied. Defense subroutines are adapting, but this attack is incredibly sophisticated." The alien's expression remained impassive. "Your resistance is unexpected. Most Category 3 species submit to examination." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Humanity doesn't submit to being disabled and examined without consent. We offered peaceful communication. You responded with aggression." "Not aggression. Standard protocol for unknown entities," the alien corrected. "Your defensive capabilities are notable. The collective will adjust approach." The alien vessel began to emit a more concentrated beam, targeting specific systems on the Thunderchild. "They're systematically trying to disable our propulsion, weapons, and life support," Okafor reported. "Shields holding at 82%, but they're adapting to our frequency modulations." Elena turned to her tactical officer. "Target their emission points with precision countermeasures. Non-lethal response only." "Aye, Captain." The Thunderchild's defensive systems activated, releasing precisely calculated electromagnetic pulses designed to disrupt the alien attack without causing permanent damage. The alien on screen displayed what might have been surprise, a ripple of color passing through its scaled skin. "Your countermeasures are precise. Most species your size employ overwhelming force, or none at all." "Interesting. We prefer proportional responses," Elena replied coolly. "Now shall we try communication again, or do you intend to continue this unnecessary confrontation?" The alien vessel suddenly released a swarm of smaller craft, dozens of crystalline objects that surrounded the Thunderchild in a spherical formation. "These are autonomous examination units," the alien explained. "They will not harm your vessel but will collect necessary data." Dr. Chen looked up from his science station. Captain, if those things attach to our hull, they could potentially extract information about Earth's location and defenses. Elena didn't hesitate. Activate the Chimera protocol. Reed looked at her sharply. Captain, that system hasn't been fully tested outside simulations. No time like the present, Commander. Elena's expression was resolute. Tanaka's fingers danced across his console. Chimera protocol initiated. The Thunderchild's exterior suddenly shifted, its molecular structure rearranging on a fundamental level. The normally smooth hull developed microscopic serrations designed to shred anything that attempted direct contact. Simultaneously, the ship's electromagnetic signature began to pulse in a seemingly random pattern, a technological camouflage designed to confuse advanced targeting systems. The alien swarm approached but then paused, hovering just meters from the Thunderchild's hull. Your vessel is changing, the alien observed, the musical quality of its voice containing what might have been the first notes of concern. This capability is not consistent with Category 3 technology. As I said, Elena replied with the barest hint of satisfaction. Humans adapt quickly. The examination units are reporting confusion, the alien continued. Your ship's structural integrity appears to be in flux, yet your internal systems remain stable. Explain. Instead of answering, Elena nodded to Tanaka. The operations officer activated another system, and the Thunderchild began emitting a precisely modulated energy field that engulfed the alien swarm. The crystalline units froze in place, their functions temporarily suspended by the unexpected counter-technology. The alien's multiple eyes widened. This is unprecedented. You have neutralized collective technology without destruction. The engineering principles involved are unknown to us. Perhaps, Elena suggested, the collective's classification system needs revision. For the first time, the alien's composure seemed to falter. Your species requires further study. You are not what was expected. Often the case with humanity, Elena replied. Now, since we've established that neither of us can easily overpower the other, I suggest we return to diplomatic dialogue. As equals, the alien vessel suddenly retracted its offensive systems. The swarm of examination units, still frozen by the Thunderchild's countermeasures, were recalled to the larger ship. The collective acknowledges your position, the alien conceded. This encounter has provided unexpected data. A formal introduction is now appropriate. The alien's scaled skin shifted in patterns that seemed to indicate a formal posture. I am Nexus Interpreter Jovex of the Galactic Collective, an alliance of 27 spacefaring civilizations that maintain order and evolutionary guidance in this sector of the galaxy. Elena inclined her head slightly. On behalf of humanity and Earth, we welcome the opportunity for peaceful exchange with the Collective. Your welcome is premature, Jovex responded. The Collective must determine if humanity represents a beneficial addition or a potential disruption to established cosmic order. Your technological development pattern is concerning. Concerning, Elena raised an eyebrow. Most species require centuries to progress from planetary travel to the technology your vessel displays, Jovex explained. Your accelerated development suggests possible instability or exceptional adaptability, Elena countered. Perhaps. Jovex's scales rippled again. The Collective Council must be consulted regarding humanity. This will require time. Elena felt the weight of representing her entire species in this crucial first contact. We're willing to wait and to provide any information that might help the Collective understand humanity better, provided the exchange is mutual. Mutual exchange is not standard protocol for initial contact assessment. Then perhaps it's time for new protocols, Elena suggested firmly. Jovex studied her for a long moment, multiple eyes blinking in that strange, sequential pattern. Your proposal will be considered. Until the Council responds, your vessel will remain here. Attempts to depart will be interpreted as hostility. With that, The communication ended, leaving the bridge crew of the Thunderchild staring at the alien vessel that had resumed its original dodecahedral configuration. Elena turned to her command staff. "Well, that could have gone better." "Could have gone worse, too," Reed pointed out. "At least nobody started shooting." "Not yet," Elena agreed grimly. "Dr. Chen, I want everything we've learned about their technology analyzed. Commander Tanaka, run diagnostics on all systems. Make sure they didn't leave any surprises in our computers. Officer Okafor, maintain defensive readiness but keep it subtle." As her crew carried out their orders, Elena gazed at the alien structure. Humanity's first contact with an interstellar civilization had been neither the disaster nor the celebration Earth's policymakers had envisioned. Instead, it had revealed something perhaps more challenging. They were viewed as upstarts, developing too quickly for the comfort of established powers. It was a position humanity had faced before, though never on a galactic scale. And as the hours passed with the alien vessel maintaining its silent vigil, Elena couldn't help but wonder what the collective council would decide about humanity's place among the stars. What she did know with absolute certainty was that whatever came next would change human history forever. 18 hours had passed since the standoff between the Thunderchild and the collective vessel. Captain Elena Reyes had ordered rotating rest shifts for her crew, maintaining a constant state of alert while avoiding exhaustion. She herself had managed only 3 hours of fitful sleep in her ready room, her mind racing with the implications of their encounter. The alien structure had remained unchanged, its perfect geometric form maintaining position relative to the Thunderchild. No further communication had been attempted by either side. Elena sat in her command chair, reviewing Dr. Chen's preliminary analysis of the collective's technology, when Lieutenant Commander Tanaka straightened at his console. "Captain, the alien vessel is changing configuration again." All eyes turned to the main display as the dodecahedron unfolded once more, revealing not one but 3 distinct vessels that had apparently been nested within its structure. "Tactical assessment," Elena asked Okafor. "The central vessel appears to be the same one we communicated with previously," the tactical officer replied. "The other 2 are different. Larger, more complex energy signatures, possibly battleships or command vessels." "We're being hailed," announced Sharma from communications. "Multiple signals, different frequencies." Elena straightened her uniform. On screen, the display divided into 3 sections, each showing a different alien species. Zhivex occupied the central panel, its iridescent scales now arranged in different patterns. To the left was a being composed of what appeared to be interconnected crystalline structures that pulsed with internal light. On the right was a massive tentacled entity suspended in some kind of fluid environment, its single enormous eye focused intently on the camera. "Captain Elena Reyes," Zhivex began, "the Collective Council has reached consensus regarding humanity. I present High Arbiter Crix Thal of the Voidborn and Elder Navigator Omphos of the Morosian Depths." Elena nodded respectfully to each alien representative. "On behalf of humanity, I welcome this opportunity for dialogue." The crystalline entity, Crix Thal, emitted a series of harmonic tones that the translation system converted to speech. "Your species presents a classification anomaly. Development accelerated beyond expected progression curves. Explanation required." "Necessity," Elena replied simply. "Throughout our history, humanity has advanced most rapidly when facing challenges. Our planet has experienced climate shifts, resource limitations, and internal conflicts that drove innovation." The tentacled being, Omphos, moved closer to its camera, its massive eye constricting slightly. "Many species face adversity. Few respond with such aggressive adaptation. Your vessel incorporates 17 distinct technological principles that evolved separately among different collective members. This suggests pattern recognition abilities that exceed standard evolutionary metrics." Elena considered her response carefully. "Humans have always been good at building upon the ideas of others, finding connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. We call it creativity. The three aliens conferred among themselves in a language the translator couldn't interpret. Elena used the opportunity to exchange glances with her bridge crew. Reed gave her an almost imperceptible nod of approval. "The collective has reviewed scan data of your vessel," HFY announced when they returned their attention to the communication. "Your propulsion system utilizes principles similar to Arcturian full technology. Your defensive capabilities incorporate elements reminiscent of proximate phase shifting. Yet neither species has contacted Earth. Explain this convergence." "Parallel development," Dr. Chen interjected, stepping forward beside Elena. "We've theorized these technologies independently, based on our understanding of fundamental physics. The universe operates according to consistent principles. It's logical that different species might discover similar solutions." Kriegsthal's crystalline structure vibrated. Probability of independent discovery of 17 advanced principles, 0.000087%. Alternative hypothesis: humanity has encountered collective technology previously. "That's not possible," Elena stated firmly. "Until today, humanity had no confirmed contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. Unconfirmed contact remains statistical probability," Orpheus countered, its tentacles undulating. "Historical artifacts on Earth may contain embedded technological principles, subtly influencing human development vectors." Elena exchanged a glance with Dr. Chen, whose expression had shifted from scientific curiosity to concern. "Are you suggesting," Elena asked carefully, "that the collective has visited Earth before?" "Not the current collective," HFY clarified. "Precursor civilizations maintained observation posts on multiple developing worlds before the Great Collapse 12,000 years ago. Earth was likely among them." The implication sent a chill through Elena. Earth's ancient myths and legends about advanced beings from the stars suddenly took on new potential meaning. "If that's true," she said, "then perhaps humanity's accelerated development is simply a return to knowledge we once glimpsed." "A concerning perspective," Kriegstahl responded. "Species with interrupted development patterns typically exhibit dangerous expansion tendencies. Historical data suggests 83% probability of territorial aggression. Yet your vessel demonstrated remarkable restraint," Orpheus noted, its massive eye dilating slightly. "When confronted with collective examination protocols, you employed precise countermeasures rather than maximum force. This behavior contradicts predicted patterns." Elena saw an opening. "Perhaps your predictions are based on limited data. Humanity is diverse. We don't follow a single pattern of behavior. Some of us are aggressive, others peaceful. We've learned, often through bitter experience, that cooperation typically yields better results than conflict." The alien representatives conferred again, their private communication lasting longer this time. When they returned their attention to the screen, HFY's scales had shifted to a new configuration. "The Council requires additional observational data before classifying humanity. We propose an exchange. 3 of your crew will transfer to the collective vessel, while 3 collective representatives will board the Thunderchild. This mutual assessment will determine next steps." Elena frowned. "I'm not comfortable sending my crew into an unknown environment without guarantees of their safety." "Safety protocols will be observed," Kriegstahl assured. "The exchange is necessary for accurate assessment." Before Elena could respond, alarms blared across the bridge. Okafor's hands flew across her tactical displays. "Captain, multiple vessels just emerged from some kind of subspace fold. Configuration unknown, not matching collective design patterns." The main screen automatically split to show the new arrivals. A swarm of angular obsidian vessels with red energy signatures pulsing along their hulls. They moved with predatory precision, surrounding both the Thunderchild and the collective ships. "We are detecting weapons charging," Okafor reported tensely. On the communication screen, the 3 collective representatives had turned their attention elsewhere, apparently receiving reports from their own systems. "Vex harvesters," HFY announced, turning back to Elena with what appeared to be genuine alarm in its multiple eyes. a nomadic predator species that consumes technology and biological material. They were believed contained in the Cygnus sector. Their vessels are targeting both us and you, Elena observed, watching the tactical display. Correct. Cell's crystalline structure pulsed rapidly. The harvesters do not discriminate between technological sources. All advanced material is consumed to fuel their expansion. As if on cue, the harvester vessels opened fire, sending crimson energy beams slicing through space toward both the Thunderchild and the collective ships. Evasive maneuvers. Elena ordered. Defensive systems at maximum. The Thunderchild banked sharply, its experimental propulsion systems allowing it to move with unexpected agility for a vessel its size. The collective ships likewise scattered, their formations breaking apart to avoid the concentrated fire. Collective vessels are returning fire, Okafor reported. But the harvesters are numerous. I count 22 attack craft. Elena made a split-second decision. Open a secure channel to Javex. When the connection was established, she didn't waste time on pleasantries. We face a common enemy. I propose coordinated action rather than individual defense. Javex's scales rippled rapidly. Coordination with a non-collective species is unprecedented in combat scenarios. So is survival after a harvester attack. I'm guessing, Elena countered. We've analyzed their attack pattern. They're using a standard encirclement tactic, targeting our propulsion systems first to prevent escape. Your analysis matches ours, Javex acknowledged. What do you propose? Your vessels have superior energy projection capabilities, but limited maneuverability. The Thunderchild has advanced countermeasure systems and exceptional agility. We can complement each other's strengths. After a brief pause, Javex responded. The Council accepts your proposal. Tactical coordination protocols initiated. What followed was a dance of technology and strategy that would later become legendary in both human and collective records. The Thunderchild darted between harvester vessels with precision maneuvers, drawing their fire while the collective ships delivered devastating energy barrages from multiple angles. They're adapting to our pattern, Reed warned after the initial success had destroyed 3 harvester vessels, changing formation to isolate us from the collective ships. Elena studied the tactical display, mind racing through possibilities. Dr. Chen, you mentioned the harvester ships appear to use a hive mind coordination system. The scientist nodded. Based on their synchronized movements and energy signatures, they likely share processing across vessels rather than operating independently. Then they have a central coordination node, Elena reasoned. Officer Okafor, analyze their movement patterns. Find the vessel that signals course corrections first. Okafor's fingers flew across her console, her eyes narrowed in concentration. After several tense moments as the Thunderchild continued evasive maneuvers, she looked up. Vessel designated H7 shows a consistent 0.27-second lead in directional changes. It's the most heavily shielded but least armored. The brain protecting itself, Elena murmured. Open a channel to all collective vessels. When communications confirmed the link was active, Elena outlined her discovery and proposed a coordinated strike. The collective representatives received the information with what might have been surprise, but quickly incorporated it into their battle strategy. The Thunderchild will create a diversion, Elena explained. When the harvesters commit to pursuit, your vessels can strike H7 from multiple vectors. Your vessel would accept primary target designation. Amphios asked, its enormous eye blinking slowly. This carries 73% probability of critical damage. We're more maneuverable than they expect, Elena replied confidently. Execute on my mark. What followed was a masterpiece of tactical coordination. The Thunderchild activated its experimental Chimera protocol to its maximum setting, creating multiple phantom energy signatures that confused the harvester targeting systems. As the human vessel appeared to fragment into 5 separate targets, the harvesters committed their forces to the pursuit. The moment they adjusted formation, the collective vessels struck from 3 directions simultaneously, focusing overwhelming firepower on the command vessel. The Harvester coordination node erupted in a cascade of crimson energy as its containment systems failed. The effect on the remaining fleet was immediate. Their movements became erratic. Coordination lost as individual vessels attempted to function without central direction. Now, Elena ordered, all vessels concentrated fire while they're disorganized. The combined forces of humanity and the collective methodically eliminated the remaining Harvester vessels. When the last one detonated in a spectacular eruption of energy, a moment of stunned silence fell across the Thunderchild's bridge. It was broken by Tanaka's relieved laugh. We actually did it. Damage report, Elena requested, allowing herself a small smile. Shields at 42%, minor hull breaches on decks 4 and 7. Repair teams responding. No casualties, Reed reported with evident pride. The main screen activated, showing the 3 collective representatives. Their demeanor had visibly changed, even accounting for the differences in alien physiology. Elena could sense a new respect in their posture. Captain Elena Reyes, Jovex began, its scales now arranged in a pattern she hadn't seen before. The collective acknowledges your tactical contribution. Your species' ability to identify critical weaknesses and implement adaptive strategies exceeded our combat algorithms. The coordination between our technologies was unexpectedly effective. Krixthal added, its crystalline structure pulsing in what might have been excitement. Human creativity applied to established collective principles produced results that our predictive models failed to anticipate. Amphios moved closer to the camera, its massive eye focused intently. In 12,000 years of collective history, no species has successfully repelled a Harvester attack of this magnitude. The strategic value of human cognition requires revaluation. Elena straightened, aware that this moment would define humanity's place in the galactic community. The Thunderchild's mission was to explore and establish peaceful contact with other civilizations. Today we've demonstrated that humanity can be a valuable ally in the face of common threats. The 3 representatives conferred briefly before Jovex addressed her again. The Collective Council has reached a new consensus. Humanity will not be classified according to standard technological development metrics. Your species represents a unique evolutionary branch, unpredictable, but potentially symbiotic with collective interests. I'm pleased to hear that, Elena replied cautiously. What exactly does this mean for Earth collective relations? It means, Captain Reyes, Krixthal explained, that rather than assessment through observation, the collective proposes formal diplomatic exchange. Your vessel has earned the right to return to Earth with collective representatives to initiate official first contact protocols. Elena felt the weight of history on her shoulders lighten slightly. My crew and I would be honored to escort your representatives to Earth. I believe our respective civilizations have much to learn from each other. Indeed. Amphios agreed, its tentacles moving in what might have been a gesture of respect. The collective anticipates this exchange with, I believe the human term is excitement. As the communication ended and the bridge crew allowed themselves a moment of celebration, Elena gazed at the stars visible through the view screen. Humanity had not only survived first contact, but had proven itself worthy of respect among the stars, not through overwhelming power, but through the very qualities that had always defined the best of human nature: adaptability, creativity, and the willingness to cooperate in the face of shared challenges. The Thunderchild would return to Earth not as harbingers of interstellar threat, but as ambassadors of a new era of galactic cooperation. And as Elena issued orders to prepare for the journey home, she couldn't help but smile at the thought of how humanity's unique perspective might reshape the collective itself in the years to come. The stars no longer seemed cold and distant. They had become the backdrop for humanity's next great adventure.